Internal lining is a very common question that we get asked about tiny houses. Can you have a different internal lining? Now, there are a number of choices, and these are some of the ones that we typically use in a tiny house. There's pros and cons to every choice, and you have to weigh up what works for you, both in the look and also the weight and what you're trying to achieve. So it does depend on what tiny house you buy, what size it is, and what cladding we can use, because the bigger the tiny house, we are capped at 4.5 tonne. So if you're looking to get an enormous internal fit out with lots of cabinetry, which is very heavy, then we really have to consider what internal lining we use. There's a lot of the internal lining, so it is a big weight factor. The typical lining we use is a V-grooved sheeting, and it's painted. We certainly prefer painted because we like to keep it light, white, because it creates that sense that it's a bigger space. The darker the colour you use, it feels like it comes in, makes it feel smaller. You're already in a tiny house, so it's not the ideal combo. You do see it a lot on Instagram. I think it looks maybe good in the photos, but in reality I'm not sure it's the best choice, but certainly the choice is yours. We can do an oiled cedar, that's our preference. If we're going to do a timber looking tiny house, it's much lighter and it has a beautiful finish. It's a beautiful timber. A lot of people do use a pine or a ply, and I just feel it's very hard to make a plywood look attractive. But that's a personal choice. We're happy to make it for you. Our preference is the painted V-grooved. It means that the join is concealed in the V, and so we don't see any joining strips. A lot of the time we get asked, can I use gyprock or plasterboard or a smooth finish? The problem with that is we can't use plasterboard because I can guarantee you it will crack, and you will not like that, and so we won't use that product. There are other smooth products, but it means that you'll have a joining strip that you'll visually see. So every 1200 millimeters or 1.2 meters, you'll see a little joining strip, and I personally think that's ugly. So we try and avoid ugliness as much as possible. Again, it's your money. If that's what you really want, we'll make it for you. But our preference are these. Whether you want painted, we do the painted plywood sheeting, or if you want the timber look, we use the V-groove cedar. There is one other product that we do use when your tiny house is extremely fitted out and we're really worried about the weight. It's Paulownia wood. It's Australian wood that's forested here, so it's extremely lightweight. It's even lighter than the cedar, but it is very expensive. And so the offset, you've got to decide, do I want to spend the more money on the lighter weight wood to offset the heavier things that you put in the tiny house? So everything we do at the tiny houses is a balance to make sure that the tiny house is underweight and can be legally sent down the road, and that's the most important. So hopefully that answers your questions about lining. Yes, you can have a variety of choices. We have our standard ones that we prefer. If you want something different, we can make that happen. We just have to price it up accordingly. All right, hopefully that answers your questions.